Pisces. Welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot, and welcome to your tarot and astrology reading for March. I apologize, guys. Thanks for being patient. I was helping a friend move the past couple of days. I tried to get as many videos as I could out, and for some reason, typically I would have done Pisces first, but there may have been a very specific reason why I was kind of urged to hold back on the reading. Now, I say that because I am just absolutely drawn to this Tower card. Now, looking at your astrology for the month, Neptune is really activated in your first house. And sometimes that's quite literally an environment or a situation in which there are sacrifices required. Because the Sun and Venus is there conjoining with Neptune, and a new moon mid-month around the 13th, as well as Mercury making new ground, I'm feeling as though there are new situations emerging in your life that may be very emotional, very foundational stuff, and it is certain to be an opportunity to open your heart in a lot of ways, but it may not necessarily feel all that pleasant. Now, we have Mars ingressing into the sign of Gemini in your 4th house, and this feeling, the Gemini joining up in the North Node, can be really an overflow and even an element of burnout by the end of the month. So please keep that in mind. When I see elements of self-sacrifice, first house, maybe feeling like you're pulled in a lot of directions, like you have to be there or take care of other people at this time. We have Mars energy, meaning there's a lot of activity in your home life or a lot of activity in your family, and you could burn out. So it's very important that you're taking care of you right now. It's also particularly important that you pay attention to the things that are going around and happening in this month, because you're going through a very emotional time, okay? All of your cadent water houses are being activated, along with all this Piscean energy in your first house. There's so much water, meaning you are really in this emotional space. Now, your energy is that of Saturn, which is the card number 6 and the card of truth. Now, there is always an element of destiny with Saturn, and it's usually about the karmic lessons in our life. Saturn talks to us about timing, and when I see Saturn along with the Tower card and the Hermit card on the other side, there's almost a feeling like there is an acceptance of life cycles. Because there's an element of this 4th house Gemini North Node with the Tower, it could mean that elements of your family life are changing. Oftentimes when we deal with Saturn energy, it's about our parents. It's about responsibilities. And it can oftentimes feel like isolation. And so I see these cards together, and there's almost an element for sure of melancholy or depression. And I want you to be very careful about that in March. I just feel like it could be a slippery slope, especially because this 9 of Swords is here in the overall energy. This is a very mental energy, and it's very depressing, meaning you're kind of at the edge. This is what I mean about that burnout. When we are in a 9 of Swords place, we can become super defensive. We could become really sharp. One of the things that I see when I see this card is carrying a lot of sharp feelings. Sharp feelings to me represent resentment, an element of maybe other people's bad decisions, or an element of just life in general is something that we have to do, things that we have to go through, the natural progression, and yet there's a feeling of being held back. I say that because Saturn truth comes out right above this Hanged Man, which is your card, the card of Pisces, often representing that Neptune energy. That Neptune energy is all about the dream, right? It's all about that perfect life, that perfect love, that perfect day, the ability to go with the flow and stay in a positive kind of vibe, almost having the ability to ignore anything that's in the realm of inconvenient for you. That's what I'm picking up from this energy. And this Tower comes in, and as soon as you get in this comfy zone, it's like, nope, you've got things to do. You've got responsibilities, you've got people to take care of, matters at home to handle. Maybe there's just a lot of repairs. Maybe you're dealing with the actual aging of your home, meaning there's like stuff going wrong. You might have a parent actually moving in with you that you have to take care of. Again, furthering that feeling of not being able to live out your dream, you know, and there's a martyr feeling, which is that feeling of sacrificing the things that you want to do because you have to take care of other stuff. Now, we have this pretty important square going on. Mars going through your 4th house and your 12th house Saturn is very karmic cycles within the family as well. And the 12th house again brings up that energy of martyrism or sacrifice, or the things that you have to sacrifice in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Now, here's the thing that I love about tarot, and I love when I do these cards, I'm often so caught up in the patterns of the colors. And it is so beautiful to see how these all kind of go together with the same patterns, even though they're all very different decks and cards. And I do see a lot of fire energy, meaning there is this desire, and it's a good thing. Like the ego may have to be a little adjusted this month. There's probably a little bit of acceptance of responsibilities or having to tame things down, but it's for your greater good. 6 of Wands in the center means there is victory, and it probably means you're stepping up into a role of leadership. Again, with that Hermit card, it's like an advancement or a graduation process, and you are taking on a new role, and it's a leadership position. Maybe within your family, maybe within your hierarchy, maybe within your job, maybe within a relationship. But there's a lot of fire in here, and yet things are very watery and Neptunian, meaning they're not really taking place in the 3D. And I'm drawn to these blue cards here representing more of the throat chakra, 3rd house, Uranus and Taurus. There's an element of needing to seek freedom by saying the things you're holding back from saying. King of Cups, Knight of Cups, all tied to this no card. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. So first off, this, along with Saturn, tells me that probably going to be a time in which you feel like you have to hold back your feelings, especially if there are any hurt feelings. Maybe you just have to hold in your emotions, the feeling like you have to be strong for others. The 6 of Wands means there's a lot of expectations on you at this time. Now, the 6 of Wands indicates that you certainly can handle it. But it also indicates that you're going to feel like you're really in charge of a lot of stuff. And when you feel that pressure, the 5 of Wands next to the 6 of Wands, there's like this pressure growing. Yes, you need to step up. And yet there's this other side of you, which kind of almost feels like a child. And because this comes out under the Hermit, I am assuring you that there are emotions being held back. Now, if this isn't you, if this Hermit energy is another person, for some reason they're not able to kind of emotionally invest or emotionally connect this month. Now, whether it's their intuition, or just other responsibilities that they're dealing with at this time, causing them to kind of hold back any healing communication. Super frustrating if you're coming from an element of wanting to talk, maybe even picking fights. This 5 of Wands next to the 6 of Wands and the Knight of Cups, this is super agitating. So I think for some of you, this 5 of Wands underneath this Tower is the resentments that start to build in this 9 of Swords. And because you are not externalizing it, because you are not saying the things, you're not allowing yourself to feel, this stuff is gonna build. And when I see the 4 of Wands underneath the 5 of Wands, you feel as though you have to keep the peace. You're certainly holding back a lot. Saturn can do a lot to make us feel isolated. It's common to feel alone when Saturn is playing a dominant role. And because you are hosting Saturn and Jupiter in the 12th house, there could certainly be some moments this month where you feel isolated, alone, carrying a lot of heavy burdens. And quite honestly, there's a part of you that doesn't want to do any of this at all. There's a part of you that wants to probably engage in the more wonderful, creative things that we can be doing. And that's the thing that has to be sacrificed this month. Now, I can promise you that this transit is not going to last forever. If you are feeling like you are stuck or on hold because you have to do the right things or be responsible for other people in some way, it might be a month where you have to suck it up. But there's a delicate balance between doing the right things, victory, handling the situations, and see this 6 of Wands comes underneath this King of Cups. And this King of Cups is very mature about his emotions. Much more steady, much more reliable, much more compassionate. And so I think that you recognize that even though this isn't exactly what you wanted to do right now, this tower, this thing that goes on that kind of throws everything on hold, and that things may not go the way that you planned March to go. There might actually be things that have to be postponed. And because I see cups here and an emphasis on this Saturn and taking care of other people, and I see somebody aging here, it feels clear that the thing that you're supposed to come to terms with or experience at this time is the caring and loving of someone else. Now, what I see here between these two cards, the green is the color of the heart chakra. Don't let your past hold you back. South Node. South Node in your 10th house. And I feel like that is feel as though there are things that are changing. And there are things that are happening that are out of your control. And it's going to really make you feel like you have to step up and be in control. My outer experiences are a reflection of my internal condition. And I don't know why I get this feeling like you were built for this. You were ready for this. And because I see the Six of Wands here, I also feel this element of being able to, in a healthy manner, retract yourself and regain footing. Now, there's all water and fire here. And then this one earth card. And I feel like this card, the Hermit card, is ultimately what's grounding you. There might be underlying fears that might come, that might be exposed as you're going through these situations or going through this scenario. Open your heart or your intuitiveness enough and allow yourself to feel this. No, I think your first instinct is going to be, no, I don't want to feel it. I've just got to work through it. You know, Saturn, I've got to work on it. I've got to constantly be doing. But in order to balance things out this month, in order to understand, you're going to have to express yourself. You're going to have to deal with the emotional stuff, and you're going to have to allow it to really open your heart. I feel like something is deeply changing for Pisces. And this emotional experience can really change your priorities. This Queen of Wands right next to this King of Cups. There seems to be a balance that comes. And I love this because this here, this King of Cups, this blue, this throat chakra activation, this ability to express yourself in healthy ways, to honor yourself in healthy ways, and to learn to trust yourself, because he comes out underneath the wands and there's a feeling of, I knew I could do it. The trusting in self. And then this Queen of Wands, which is kind of this, you know, super fiery, attracting energy. And when you get that with my outer experiences are a reflection of my internal condition, tells me that at the deepest foundation of this is that of love. And it might feel like you're sacrificing for responsibility's sake or in order to do the right thing. But this is a beautiful gift and an opportunity. And I think that it's something that ultimately contributes to a new level of ambition, of drive. For some of you, this might even change your career path in some way. What you want to do or what you want to do next. I feel like this situation is putting things on pause. Something is being postponed because you are changing. And look at how beautiful these two cards match together. The floral patterns, the leaf patterns. Badger spirit, be fearless and bold. Queen of Wands. You know, next month or by the end of March, as the Sun and Venus and all of this energy starts to move into the sign of Aries, meeting up with Chiron in your second house, there is there's a profound healing. And it has a lot to do with your purpose. And so the experiences that you're having now are very destined and very karmic. And for a lot of you, they might change the path or direction that you were going in. So no matter how hard it gets, no matter how frustrating things can be, keep your cool. Have compassion and forgiveness for yourself and others. And pay attention intuitively to your surroundings. It's going to be a wonderful month, Pisces. I think you're going to really enjoy the changes. I think that this isn't necessarily as negative as it could have been. That's important to point out. Maybe things seem a lot worse in the beginning of the month than they are by the end. Okay. All right. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening. I hope it's a wonderful month. I will be back at some point for some lunation guidance with the new moon and the full moon, and then you'll be getting your readings for April. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great month. Bye.